Well, as Election Day inches closer, local election officials are seeing surges in participation and involvement in all aspects of the elections.
That's right, and this morning we're breaking down some new surveys to see who among the voting eligible population plans on showing up to the polls and how that will impact the results. KIMT News 3's Dee Steepin, she joins us now live in Rochester with this story. Dee.
Good morning, Tyler and Ariel. You know, within the year, millennials ages 20 to 35 are projected to surpass baby boomers as the largest voting eligible generation. That's a large political force, but being eligible to vote is one thing. Actually, walking into a precinct like this to cast a ballot, that's another.
Yeah, I'm turning 18 on August 11th, so just before the primaries.
Rochester Community and Technical College student Drew Brinker is looking forward to voting for the first time.
I've always been excited about voting, but it was really the recent presidential election that kind of sparked me to get involved. You know, my philosophy is you can't complain if you're not involved.
He may be eager to engage in the electoral process. That's not the case for most of his peers. A recent poll from the Public Religion Research Institute and The Atlantic showed only 28% of young adults ages 18 to 29 say they are absolutely certain they'll be voting in the midterms. Compare that to 74% of senior voters. So why aren't young people showing up at the polls? Drew thinks most don't understand the responsibility of voting until it's too late.
I hear all the time, politics is just corrupt. You know, there's corrupt politicians. Well, we can change that. By voting, you hold them accountable. Otherwise, by not voting and staying silent, you're allowing them to continue being corrupt. You know, they have to represent the people.
Young voter turnout could have a huge impact on the election, which is why the results of this poll should give Democrats some pause. Political analyst Dr. Eric Shore says millennial voter turnout will be key for the Democratic Party in this midterm election, but adds, quote, "The danger in courting millennials is that the Democratic establishment cannot necessarily count on them for voting for their candidate. A millennial is more likely to be progressive. As polls show, they prefer a more socialistic form of government than capitalistic. It's a tightrope the Democrats are walking." Well, it's certainly shaping up to be an interesting election, that is for sure. Now, absentee voting for Minnesota's August primary is currently underway. In-person voting can be done if you're a county resident. You can come here to the Olmsted County voting offices Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to cast your ballot in person. Live in Rochester, Dee Steepin, KIMT News 3.
Dee, thank you. And as far as the local races go, several primary candidate debates and forums are being held next week for city offices. We have the details on KIMT.com with this story under local news.
This morning, in just a few hours, a Minnesota gubernatorial candidate will be in Albert Lea. Erin Murphy plans to talk about her vision for a healthy economy during a roundtable discussion with parents, child care providers, and caregivers. Murphy won the DFL nomination last month at the party's convention in Rochester. This morning's roundtable starts at 9 and is being held at the Interchange. That's on South Broadway Avenue right in Albert Lea.
And new for you on